Welcome to Northwoods Kindred. I'm your GOTHI Bodvar, and on this channel we discuss all things Asatru Kindred related. So hit that subscribe button if you want to see how we do it in the Northwoods. In this video, I'm going to give an introduction to GOTHI training. Generally speaking, myself, the GOTHI that taught me, the GOTHI that taught him, we've all learned it. It's been passed down from one to another to another. And we're in a fortunate position now that we didn't have in the early 90s when we were first learning this stuff, is that we have the internet. We have this ability to instruct and mentor from a distance and help people come up together without ever actually having physical contact with them. So we're going to do that. And I'm going to try and go through and help prepare you for that leadership position in a kindred, or in your family as your host GOTHI, or just personal for yourself, so that you know how to do the things that a GOTHI would do, such as performing ritual, designing ritual, providing counseling and comfort, the sort of things that you would expect from formal clergy. Let's talk about how we can do that and how we can train ourselves to do that. So I don't see the reason to pay some of these pay-to-play schemes money in order to get ordained as a GOTHI, when you can learn how to be a GOTHI here for free, and then just get ordained online through some random organization for free, and then you have everything you need, except your certificate will probably say minister instead of GOTHI. If you want that, how much is it worth to you? Because some of those places will charge you a fortune, teach you nothing, and then you get the certificate that says GOTHI, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you know how to perform that role. So at least let me help you learn how that role is performed historically and in the modern era, and then you can take that and do with it whatever you want. So some of the things that I really want to cover, the things that I think are important to the GOTHI, and understand that not everybody that knows what the word means knows what the role entails. So I get these comments on TikTok and YouTube once in a while, even on Facebook, where people say that I'm a crappy GOTHI, or I don't know what I'm doing, and it has nothing to do with how I conduct the role of the GOTHAR. It's more to do with the fact that they disagree with my opinion. And anybody that says that you are a poor GOTHI because they disagree with your opinion doesn't really understand the role or how it's supposed to be executed. So those people, cardboard Vikings that they are, they can continue to play their little games, and we will stay on the other side, and we will continue to learn and move this religion into the future. So the things that I want to teach are, for one, patience and tolerance for that kind of harassment and just idiocy, because it's going to happen, especially if you wear the title. If you hold the title GOTHI for your kindred or your SIPA or your stead, and you use that title like I do, you're going to get a lot of, you're not my GOTHI, I don't even know you, you're not even blah blah blah. So there's a tolerance and a patience that you have to have with people like that. So I want to talk about some of that, and I've been known to fail at that too. Like it's all a training, it's all a process of learning. I want to teach you how to design rituals based on your needs and the needs of your people. So how to research it, where to go specifically to find these bits and pieces from history. I want to show how to perform the rituals of our ancestors, the ways that they did things, but how you can bring them into your modern era, so that you're not trying to perform a 1,000-year-old ritual as if you lived 1,000 years ago, but more as you live now in the information age, not in the Viking age. There is a series of things that you can do, daily practices or daily best practices that that contribute to our mindset and the way that we approach the world around us. Some of those daily practices, meditations, cold plunging, I want to go into some of those things that the GOTHI can do to clear their mind and make themselves a little bit more open to accepting other people's opinions, other people's ways, and how to essentially clear your mind every morning and set up your daily routine in a way that promotes growth and health. Another big hurdle that we have as kindred leadership, as GOTHIs and Gidyas, is finding people to fill the ranks in those kindreds, finding people that you trust, going through the proper channels to make sure that they're trustworthy before you bring them into your own Innengard, and then how to manage those people, because even though everybody's sworn oaths of frith and kinship and they come together, there's still conflicts, there's still personalities, there's still good and bad days, and those things require sometimes a feather touch in order to manage them. So I want to show you how to do that as well with some of this GOTHI training. Now, in some cases, some of these bits and pieces will have homework, and it's not like you have to do an essay and report back to me, but I'll give you some reading assignments or some maybe some psychological games you can play or things that you can do to just kind of take a lesson and cement it into who you are and the way you operate. So I may give some examples of lessons and things that you can do like that. You're not required to do them, but if you do, you'll be the better for it. I promise you that. So I'd like to incorporate some of that into the GOTHI training as well. So for now, the GOTHI training part it's really just a continuation of our last year's playlist of getting started in Asatru. This is just kind of the next step. I don't have it all worked out the way I want it to be exclusively. I just thought I would come out here, present to you my idea for it, and it will grow and mature on its own as the year progresses. So if you have any input or anything that you would like to learn, or bits and pieces that you would like help with, like finding a kindred or building a kindred or managing people, anything like that, then contact me. Your best way to get a hold of me is jump on our Discord. Barring that, you can drop it down in the comments here, or hit me up on TikTok in the comments. There's a lot of different ways to get a hold of me. We have a Facebook group too. You can always follow. There's a bunch of links in the link tree up there. You can join our Patron, and you can communicate with me there on Patreon. Get a little bit more one-on-one time. Ton of different ways to get a hold of me, but the key takeaway is if you have something that you want to learn that will make you a better leader among your folk, by all means converse with me, and then we'll work on different things that I can do to help you develop the skill that you're looking for. So I know that you didn't come here, you didn't get a whole bunch of cool information like you usually do on our video, but I felt like this was something that had to be said. I had to really lay it out, the idea or the plan. I hope that you can come back and join me. By all means, share this with your kinmen, with your friends, with your other people in your communities, even if they're not Asatru. Now, just because we are practicing Asatru kindred and we're very rigid to the Norse gods, that doesn't mean that the things we do and the practices we use can't be used in your Wicca or Druid or Greek pantheon or whichever way that you practice. It doesn't mean that the stuff we do isn't good for you as well. Terminology might change, and then you can always mold it to be what you want it to be. May 2023 be a year of massive growth and amazing discoveries. Thor Vigi, my friends.